Hello, Wildcats. Kentucky is targeting an Oregon forward in the transfer window. Does Pope want to bring in an Oregon forward? Let's see the news. The opening of the transfer window usually marks the beginning of one of the most strategic periods in the college basketball calendar. And in Kentucky, intense days are expected behind the scenes, with important vacancies to be filled and a roster undergoing restructuring. The program led by Mark Pope is moving with a clear purpose: to identify players who not only fill gaps, but also raise the competitive level of the Wildcats. Within this scenario, the name of Kwame Evans Jr. emerges strongly, and not by chance. The information that the Oregon power forward expects contact from Kentucky as soon as the window opens indicates that there is, at the very least, a mutual interest being built. And when this type of connection begins to take shape even before the official opening of the window, there is usually a plan behind it. Kentucky enters this process with a clear need in the paint after the departures of Muhaim Diabate and Brandon Garrison. It's not just about replacing numbers or minutes, but about rebuilding physical presence, defensive versatility, and impact near the basket. It is precisely at this point that Evans fits in as an extremely interesting option. With good mobility and consistent production, he arrives carrying the weight of someone who was highly valued in the recent draft, a top 20 national prospect who, at the time, even opted for Oregon despite interest from programs like Kentucky itself. Now, the scenario changes, and their paths cross again at a time when the Wildcats can offer immediate prominence. Evans' most recent performance reinforces this perception. With averages of 13.3 points, 7.4 rebounds, and 1.3 blocks per game, he has shown clear improvement and the ability to contribute in multiple areas. He's not just an energy player. He is someone who can consistently produce, protect the rim, and help control rebounds, fundamental aspects for any team that intends to compete at a high level. Mark Pope's potential move also reveals something important about the construction of the new Kentucky team. There is a search for players who have already been tested, with experience and room for growth, capable of quickly adapting to relevant roles within the system. Evans fits exactly this profile. And more than that, there is a feeling that his game has not yet reached its peak, which could be a decisive factor in the coaching staff's evaluation. Naturally, interest does not guarantee a successful outcome. The transfer market is a highly competitive environment where multiple programs compete for talent that can change the course of a season. Still, the simple fact that Kentucky has been positioned from the beginning as one of the possible destinations reinforces the attractiveness of the current project and the confidence in Pope's work. In the midst of a period of change, the move for names like Kwame Evans Jr. sends a clear message. Kentucky is not just reacting to departures, it is reorganizing itself with ambition. Denzel Aberdine's entry into the NCAA transfer portal marks the beginning of another intriguing chapter in the ever-busy world of college basketball, especially for a program like Kentucky, which constantly finds itself in the spotlight during roster changes. While the situation seems complicated at first glance, having already completed 4 regular seasons and without clear guarantees of eligibility for a 5th, Aberdine's decision reflects both his ambition and his desire to explore all possibilities before ending his college career. His journey so far is noteworthy. After 3 solid seasons in Florida, where he built a reputation as a reliable and versatile player, he opted to transfer to Kentucky last season, seeking new challenges and perhaps a larger platform to showcase his talent. Under Mark Pope, Aberdeen has had a considerable impact, averaging an impressive 13.5 points per game, in addition to consistently contributing assists, 3.4 per game, and rebounds, 2.5. His 43.3% field goal percentage and a personal best of 36.3% from three-point range demonstrate not only his offensive efficiency, but also his ability to evolve in critical areas throughout his college career. However, what makes this story particularly interesting is the context surrounding his pursuit of a fifth season of eligibility. The NCAA has been known to grant special waivers in specific cases, usually related to serious injuries or significant disruptions caused by external factors, such as the COVID-19 pandemic. In Aberdine's case, it remains to be seen what justification will be presented to request this extension, whether it's a medical issue, an academic matter, or even a creative interpretation of the rules, like the joke about putting up with Mark Pope for a whole year. Regardless of the reason, Aberdine's attempt highlights the growing complexity of the college basketball eligibility system, where every detail can make a difference in a player's career. For Kentucky, Aberdine's departure from the current roster isn't a complete surprise, but it certainly creates a hole that will need to be filled. His experience and skill as a point guard were crucial to the team's tactical functioning last season, and finding a suitable replacement will not be an easy task. Although the program has a well-oiled recruitment machine, the transition to a new point guard always brings uncertainties, especially in a competitive environment like the SEC. If they sign a player prone to injuries, like Dan Thomas Jr., the idea of a possible reunion with Aberdeen, although unlikely, becomes even more interesting. It would be a Hollywood-worthy twist, but, as always, everything will depend on the NCAA's decisions and the player's own next steps. Furthermore, Aberdeen's entry into the transfer portal highlights an increasingly common trend in college basketball: the constant mobility of players seeking better opportunities or final adjustments in their careers. The transfer portal has become an essential tool for athletes who wish to extend their journey in the sport, and stories like Aberdeen's are a reminder that, even after years of dedication, many still face dilemmas about their next step. For Wildcats fans, seeing a player who made his mark on the program seek new horizons is a mix of nostalgia and anticipation for the future. Meanwhile, the Big Blue Nation eagerly awaits the next chapters of this saga. If Aberdeen gets the much-desired waiver and returns to Kentucky, it would be a moving story about perseverance and second chances. If he decides to move on to another university, his time with the Wildcats will continue to be remembered as an important part of the rebuilding process led by Mark Pope. I don't think he'll come back. What do you think? Comment.